our normal tour, we would see floodgates 3, 4, and 5. Floodgate 5 is broken, so it's not allowing us to go all the way around and do our normal tour. So we have to do this two-way traffic kind of thing. We'll see everything twice, but it's all right. And I'll explain a little bit more later what will happen. On my left-hand side is the Casino Club building. Opened up 1927 as a private German
This is the casino, right?
business club. Today it offers commercial business on the first 2 floors. Top 4 floors are apartments. If you know who Tommy Lee Jones is, this is where he lives, part of his life right here. Also, the Casino Club building was never a casino. So the name of this river is the San Antonio River. But before anyone was here, any Spanish missionaries, Germans, Europeans, this river was named Yana Juana, which means place of peaceful waters in the Native American dialect of the Payai Indians. And they were the largest tribe in this area at the time. Also, the San Antonio River starts 4 miles north of here at the University of Incarnate Word at a spring, which is the Edwards Aquifer. That's also where we get our drinking water from. And the river goes all the way south into the Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico. Isn't that too far?
So when we get underneath this bridge, this is where we have to turn around and head back. We can't continue any further down the river because it's so narrow in that part of the river that if we were to turn our boats around, we get stuck. This is the widest place we can turn around. If you were to continue walking maybe a little less than 5 minutes down this way, you would run into floodgate number 3. Floodgate 3 comes down like a garage door, so it looks like there's a big old garage door that sits right in the middle of the river. Up front you might be able to see it. It's a little dark down there, but floodgate 3 is definitely. If you want to get your cameras ready, have them out. Right after this bridge, we're going to see an optical illusion of a freestanding wall. It even looks like it's going to fall on top of us. I'll slow down just for y'all. Up front, you'll see it first. All you have to do is put your head all the way back and look up to my left. So start looking up right about now. Up front, you'll see it.
Right here?
Put your head all the way back and look up. Pretty cool, right? Kind of just looks like a...
Oh, damn! Yeah.
You are looking at the former Mixed Hospital, opened up 1930 in San Antonio, first full-service hospital, and the nation's first fully air-conditioned hospital at the time of opening, offering from the Band-Aid to major surgery.
We got the
If
perfect
you know who
picture.
Carol Burnett is,
Right?
Yes.
that's where she was born. You look straight ahead and up. This hotel right here in front of us is the Hyatt Regency. Opened up 1981. Local floor was built. Shadow testing was conducted to ensure at sunset a shadow will not cast over a war memorial, which is the Alamo. Testing proved 16 stories was as high as this building could go. Below the hotel, there are 2 double doors there that'll say the shops of
You know, this one.
Costco to Alamo. Walk through the beautiful atrium. You'll be about a block away from the Alamo. Now look up to the right, there's a beautiful Texas flag up there. I'm going to ask y'all a question about the Texas flag.
Right
Do
there.
y'all know why
Texas.
the Texas flag is staffed at the same height as the American flag? history, and to the Union joined us in 1845. Just a little Texas history on it there. You know, sometimes we still like to act like our own country every single day of the week.
Can I put my mask up?
This area that we're in is called River Square. Renovated in 1972, has a variety of restaurants. Each restaurant has a menu right outside its door. Not too sure what you're looking for? Come down here, take a browse around.
Isn't it nice?
Coming up on my right-hand side after the bridge, we're going to see the oldest Mexican restaurant on the river. Across the Rio. Opened up in 1946, owned by a German family for about 5 generations. They pioneered all riverside dining and boat activities. On the day our company got started, this was for them. Instead of their guests just sitting down waiting for a table, they take them on a boat ride. When they come back from their ride, their table is ready. And that's how we all got started. And they used to use gondoliers back in the day. After the bridge on my left-hand side is the Hilton Palacio del Rio Palace on the river.
Too big.
Opened up for the 1968 Tennis Fair World's Fair. It took 202 days to make the Hilton open 2 days before the fair. It's a modular, prefabricated concrete construction project. You'll notice how the first 4 floors are different because they were built here on site. The rest built about 8 miles south of downtown at the HP factory headquarters. Once those rooms were done, fully furnished, and I mean fully furnished. Beds were made, paintings on the walls, holiday hot racks, all the good stuff. They brought them on flatbed trucks, put them up with cranes, stacked them on top of each other like Legos. It was noticed in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest modular hotel built in town. And that was 500 rooms in 202 days. If you've ever seen the movie Miss Congeniality, then you'll remember Sandra Bullock's bikini scene. And it was shot right here in our Artists and River Theater. Seating to the left, 300, to the right is the stage. Above the stage, there are 5 bells. They represent the 5 missions found in San Antonio. This theater was built between 1939 through 1941 for the Riverwalk Beautification Project. The sculpture up there, Marie, is for the Briscoe Western Art Museum. Name of the sculpture. Coming home to the Briscoe, inside this museum, you'll find Pancho Villa's last known battle, Santa Anna's sword, the uniforms they wore during the Battle of the Alamo, so many other cool things. If you ever have a chance, check out the Briscoe. The waterfalls we're seeing all over the river, they're not just here to look pretty. They actually serve a purpose. They're used to aerate the river, which puts oxygen back into the water, helps with growth of algae, keeps the fish alive. Coming up on my right-hand side, this island we're going to pass by is known as Marriage Island. About 300 weddings are performed here a year, averaging about 1 per day. They say when you get married on this island, it brings good luck to your marriage.
Okay.
Also, when people are getting married back there, they don't realize our boats are passing by. So there's always that one guy that'll stand up and yell, "Go do it!" In front of us is the Bear County Courthouse. Opened up in 1896. It is the largest, oldest continuous operating courthouse in the state of Texas. And I promise you, I've only been there one time. I was innocent. Just joking. It was for jury duty, so don't worry. Look up to my left. This is the Tower Life Building. Opened up June 1st, 1929 as the Smith Young Tower. Field lamp high. See some gargoyles. And these grotesques, which are the ugly faces on the side. They're in the neo-Gothic architecture, and they're known to ward off evil spirits from the building. It also gives a good luck. This is the only octagon high-rise in the United States, standing about 404 feet tall. Those gargoyles, they're water spouts, and when it rains, water will come out of their mouths. If you look down there, that is floodgate 4. This floodgate comes up like a drawbridge. Now you can't even really tell that the floodgate's up. That's why there's a light above it, spread in yellow, to let us know that the gate is up. So they use floodgates 3 and 4, usually when they think that the river's gonna flood out. Now we don't usually ever get rains like that. Hardly rains here either way, but when it does rain, they'll use floodgate 5. Now floodgate 5, if you'd walk down that way and take a left, you'd run right into it. It's not very far from here. They lower that gate to however much they need to let the water out, to keep the water level at the same height it needs to be when it rains. Now, last Sunday, they were letting that gate down because it was raining. When they let it down, one of the gears broke off and the gate fell. So the water started escaping out of the river. So they have to close floodgates 3 and 4 in order to keep all the water in this area. So that's why we're doing this two-way traffic kind of thing. Now on our normal route, we would go down that way and then we would take a right into the flood channel. Now the flood channel back there, it's about 15 feet. It was put there to straighten out this area, which is the riverbed. So in 1921, San Antonio experienced the worst flood ever. Water levels reaching 9 feet above street level. That year, 50 people died. 2/3 of the city was underwater, causing millions of dollars in property damage. After the flood, the city, they wanted to do away with the whole entire river. Cover it up with dirt and turn it into a sewer culvert. Imagine that. Fortunately, the city's plans fell through, and this river walk was completed March of 1941 at a cost of $430,000. You can barely put up a bridge for that kind of money now, or even a house. On my left-hand side, we're going to pass Marriage Island again. There's a sculpture on the island that is modern masonry cable, put there to commemorate the first mast held on the river on June 13, 1691. This bridge we're going under again, made in the early 1800s. This bridge was only made for horse-drawn carriages. Now it's crazy to think that today cars and buses drive over this bridge. These trees to my left and to my right, they're all over the river. It's because they're native to the Riverwalk. But they're from Louisiana, and they are cypress trees, Montezuma. We also have bald cypress on the river. We have such a variety of trees, but unfortunately, I only know about top 6. So I'll tell you the ones I know. We have palm, magnolia, crepe myrtle, fig, lemon, orange, banana, so many others. In our water, we have catfish, tilapia, perch, bass, sunfish, crawfish, water snakes, turtles, and ducks. Around the bend right here to the right is La Vinta, also known as the Little Village. Early 1700s, this was home to Spanish colonial soldiers. The two buildings now occupied by the Little Rhine Steakhouse and Fig Tree restaurants were once homes to German settlers in the 1850s. Today, La Vida is an artisan community offering a variety of arts and craft shops. So the Christmas lights in the trees, they started putting them up the day after Labor Day. They usually turn them on the day after Thanksgiving, and they'll leave them on 1 week into January. But this year's a little bit different. They decided to leave the lights on until the 14th of next month. So Valentine's Day will be the last day the lights will be on. If you're wondering how they get the lights into the trees, the city hires professional tree climbers. They'll climb all the way to the top of the tree, hook them, throw them over, and that's how they do it. Those same tree climbers will go up there and take them down. Now the second most asked question around here is this river natural or man-made? And it's both. We're in the natural part right now. The San Antonio River has been here over 300 years. This man-made portion we're coming back into was made in the mid-1960s for the 1968 Hemisphere World Fair. It provided transportation from the fairgrounds to the Riverwalk on taxi boats. This fair was about 6 months long, from April 6th to October 6th. About 7 million people attended, mainly from the Americas. It put San Antonio on the map. It also put the Riverwalk on the map, and we have great things to give to that. Now, if you look up to the right, you're going to see a bunch of trees. There's going to be a clearing between these trees, and in the sky on the right, you'll see the Tower of the Americas. Centerpiece for the 1968 Hemisphere World's Fair. Second freestanding tower in America, stands about 750 feet tall. There it is up on the right. There's an observation deck up there. Cost for that's about $12 to $15. But if you don't want to pay the price, you can always take the stairs. All 954 steps. That's right. And it has been done before. Throughout the year, they have marathons for people who want to know how long they can last running or walking up these steps. 5 minutes is the fastest record, and I'll never do that again. There's also a restaurant up there, makes one complete turn every hour, which is a great view of the city. If you do want to visit the tower, I believe they're open until 10 o'clock tonight. Alright friends, we're coming to the end of our tour. I hope you found your time with me a little informative, enjoying, and relaxing. I did enjoy my time with y'all as well. Beautiful day or evening to be out in the river. We appreciate the time you take coming down here and visit us on our Riverwalk. If you enjoyed your time with me, tipping your driver is allowed, accepted, and very much appreciated. If you forget any of your belongings on my boat,